Super excited. This split format has been really fun this weekend. I know we do it in a heat style with the Winter iRacing League, and it's been really cool to see it not done as a heat style racing here, but just in this split group, which, like you said, has allowed us to give a lot more screen time to more cars and great battles.
Here we go. Kevin Zhu and Lee Wombolt are on the front row. The last race of the weekend for the B group here in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup at the Circuit Legends Festival. The pace car turns off and heads for home. And the flag is in the hands of the starter. Green flag flies, and we're racing in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. Kevin Zhu and Lee Wombolt dead even on the start, side by side into turn 1, Pete.
Neither of them were off at all, and Wombolt's on the outside, gonna try and stick with it, but Zhu's pushing through, still leaving overlap there, and he's ahead of Wombolt.
Wombolt slides into second. Sam Scott and Lena Chin battle for third place behind Lena. Should be able to clear Sam Scott, but oh, Sam slipped on the marbles there on the outside, and Lena's through to third. Here comes Scott back up to the inside.
Yeah, Lena lost a little bit there, coming out a little bend. Scott did too, and now losing the battle.
And slide.
Die win.
Big moment out of turn 4. He keeps it out of the wall. He'll hopefully straighten out and continue. Over the crest, Zhu leads Wombolt by about 3 car lengths, Pete.
Yes. So Zhu's doing a great job trying to put some space between him and Wombolt here on the first lap, try and take advantage while he can.
Thomas Moss to the inside of Don Liu in the downhill run, and through into turn number 7. He'll take that spot away. Kevin Zhu leads lap 1 by 0.7 of a second. What battles will formulate and carry on in this race?
Well, we unfortunately couldn't see it, but it looks like Liu has fallen back behind Moss.
Yeah, Moss, I think, got him at just the top of West Bend and into 7, so he did sneak by there. And look at Lena Chin up past Wombolt in turn 1, so she's through to second place.
Yeah, she had a little bit of space behind him, so I'm hoping Wombolt doesn't have an issue and doesn't keep falling back, but we'll see.
Didn't get a really good drive out of turn 4 either, but Lena Chin is going to work her way up to Kevin Zhu, and that's the battle we'll have our eyes on in just a couple of moments. Ooh, I just thought, is that a puff of smoke out of one of the cars at the back?
I didn't catch it, but it's been a hard weekend for a lot of these cars.
A lot of compression and elevation change and curbs, and you're revving the car really high and putting a lot of load on it on the uphill section. It is hard on cars here, but I thought it was David Rudzinski, but he's still rolling, so we're good.
Yeah. Still have Rudzinski and Santa Cruz back there. Looks like we'll see if Dye got rolling again.
Lena Chin, fastest lap of the race. And Wombolt under fire from Sam Scott. That 204 does not have the pace that it had earlier in the weekend.
No, it does. Oh, really loose it looked like on the exit there of Big Bend. Scott's all over the back.
Oh,
Scott now
too wide. He got into the marbles, Pete, and just slid 2 lanes wide. Couldn't get it gathered up. Daiwin is back rolling. He did complete that lap, so we are good. But I'll bet you Lena Chin is going to run Zhu down, and then we're going to have that epic scrap that we have been witnessing all weekend long with the front of this B race. But Lee Wombolt is on defense right now.
Yes. Scott getting all up behind him here through West Bend, getting ready to go to the downhill. See if Scott gets a good exit, and we'll see if Wombolt does too.
And there is a lot of motivation for Scott to get this pass done quickly, because Lena closing in on Kevin Zhu again. It's very tight at the line, just 0.2 of a second. So if Scott can get up to Lena Chin, he might have a shot at passing her and Kevin Zhu. Side by side for third into turn 1, door to door. Close racing for third place.
Yep. Looks like Scott's leaving plenty of space on the inside for Wombolt, which I don't know if that's going to work well for him with that outside line being dirty. Scott getting a great drive.
And Sam Scott to third. Sets his sights on Lena Chin. 20 car lengths ahead as she runs down Kevin Zhu for the top spot. Nose to tail on the uphill.
Yep. And these two are friends. I see them hanging out in the paddock, and so I'm sure they're going to enjoy this battle.
Kevin Zhu, his best result in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup was a second back at Watkins Glen in the rain. Only lost to Luke McGrew, and he didn't let him go. Luke was definitely on defense very strongly in that race. It was race 4 at the Glen. But Kevin's going to have to defend pretty vigorously here to keep Lena behind him, although he did eke out another 10th.
Yep.
Sam Scott's the one I'm watching, though. Could he run down both of them?
It'll be interesting to see. These two are both, they're fighting, but they're not slowing each other down, it doesn't feel like. So I'm curious if Scott can close any distance on them.
Richard Sawicki up to 9th place. He's on stock Miata power, by the way, this weekend. His turbo was not working, so he's back on 120 or so wheel horsepower in that car.
That is such, oh man, that's hard.
Into the uphill. Lena is going to be hounding Kevin Zhu. How long is he going to have to keep her in the rearview mirror? These races feel longer when there's less cars, a little bit less frantic around.
Yep.
So Kevin's going to have to focus real hard to keep her behind.
Yeah, and I, to your point, I think Scott might be starting to close.
Let's see what the differentials are at the line. Zhu had 0.3 over Chin. It was 2.7 back to Sam Scott. Here comes Lena, looking to the inside, dives into turn 1 for the lead. Side by side, Lena door to door with Kevin Zhu for the top spot.
Leave each other plenty of space.
Throttles up. Can he keep overlap? He cannot. Lena Chin takes the lead away into turn 3. The left-hander, the 917's out front.
Yeah, now Zhu is in a fight to stay ahead of Scott, who closed up 0.7 of a second that last lap, only 2 seconds behind them now.
That was a really big gain for the 85, that yellow NC Miata that's chasing the front 2 now. Sam was quicker than I think both of them last time by. And with so much time left, you have to wonder if he can get that pass done on Zhu pretty quickly. Could he go up and drive up to Lena Chin and steal the lead away?
Great question. The car, he's been doing really, really well. Question is, can he keep up with Lena's pace? She does have the fastest lap of the race.
Down the front straightaway. Scott is closer, I think. Yes, 1.3, wow. Another 7/10 gain, and Kevin Zhu is right behind Lena still, so she's got to still worry about the blue Honda Civic in her rearview mirror. Yeah,
and Thomas Moss setting a new personal best lap. Wombolt still holding out there, about 4 seconds back at 4th place.
So the question now becomes, if you're Sam Scott, where do you make this pass on Kevin Zhu to do it quickly? Because we've seen people be able to hang on Big Bend and even the left-hander. So you have to pick this precisely, because if you spend a lot of time messing around with Kevin Zhu, you're going to lose Lena Chin.
Agreed. But with everything we've seen from Scott this weekend, if I was a betting man, I'd say it's going to be in the Big Bend, because that's been his favorite place to pull the inside outside and try and do it. And oh man, he's all over the back.
Through turn 7, Sam Scott in the yellow Miata has tracked down Kevin Zhu. He stays in tow. Maybe that Honda's got the legs on the straightaway, but Sam's right there. Into turn 1, he's going to stay nose to tail with him. Kevin's really late on the brakes.
Oh, and the car washes out.
Oh, Kevin, too late, too deep. Washes wide. Sam Scott takes second quickly and efficiently. That's what he had to do.
Now it's a hunt for Lena.
And it's just 0.8 of a second between Sam Scott and Lena Chin. Cue the Jaws music, Pete. He's coming.
Bottom.
Down Paul Newman straight. Kevin just got on the binders a little too late. I don't know if he was in the windshield or in the rear view there, but he had battles on both ends.
Yeah, he did, and they closed up they closed up a lot behind Lena there in the Big Bend. I was really surprised at how much. So, really unfortunate, though, that he pushed a little too late and pushed out, though.
Recovered nicely, though. Didn't go off track, didn't drop a tire, just gathered it back up and carried on. Used the wide road down there at Big Bend. There's quite a bit of pavement to gather up mistakes. It's just once you drop off of it, it's a bad time. Scott, 0.6 back.
And Scott with the fastest lap of the race now.
Yes.
Oh, Scott getting drifty.
I think they're getting their tires pretty greasy. They have to attack so hard, and they're able to. They're not stuck in packs of race cars like they normally would. They're able to extract the maximum performance out of their cars. And Scott's going to have to do that. Lena's doing a great job running consistent laps. She did in an earlier B race earlier in the weekend. She has driven at a very high level this weekend.
Yes. All Scott, Lena, and Kevin Zhu have all driven fantastic this weekend.
And Lee Wombolt, again, new to GLTC, has done an exceptional job fitting right in with the crowd here.
Yes. Been great to see. Although, unfortunately, where it seems like we're leaving him behind a little bit. So it'll feel like he's lost a little bit of pace he had earlier in the weekend.
Oh, it's one of the Rude's cars. That's Santa Cruz, I think, on pit lane.
Yep.
Across the stripe, Scott lost a couple of tenths that lap. Lena, bit of a pickup.
And we might have, and we've got, well, I think the gap just picked up a little bit, but it looks like Moss and Wambolt are holding maybe about a second. Maybe there might be a battle there as we continue to have the laps tick down.
Through the left-hander. Now, this is where consistency matters, right? If Lena can pull away one lap but then loses a bunch the next, that's not going to win you this race. You have to be consistent. Even if you're losing some time, it's okay if you're only losing a tenth or half a tenth. But if you gain 3/10 and then lose 6, that's a much bigger deal.
Yep.
Sam Scott is wringing the neck of this car right now.
Doing everything he can to try and chase Lena down and hopefully able to, Sawicki and Huxley.
Yeah, Huxley, another driver that's new to GLTC this weekend. This is a battle for 8th place. We always say in GLTC that there's always someone to battle. There's the white flag, though, as Scott loses some more time. Lena Chin trying to hang on with 1 lap to go.
Wambolt closed a little bit on Moss there in 4th and 5th, so we'll see if they might have a chance for something to happen here on this lap.
Oh, a little wide there as Sam Scott didn't quite get down to the apex. He was making inroads there, but I wonder if that heavy charge just overtaxed his tires and he wasn't able to capitalize on it all the way. Here's Huxley and Sawicki again, nose to tail.
Sawicki going to try and see if he gets some overlap, make a move to the inside. There he goes.
And completes it.
Great driving by Sawicki, especially with 120 horsepower in a GLTC car.
Yeah, there's David Rzinski in 10th, a little ways behind. And that will leave us with just Lena Chin coming back around next time by to a checkered flag in the B race. There she goes, Lena Chin. Sunoco checkered flag in race 4B. Sam Scott, Kevin Zhu on the podium. Lee Wambolt and Thomas Moss wrap up the rest of your top 5. What a race.
Yeah.
And Lena did a great job to get to the lead, get past Kevin Zhu. And Sam Scott did about all he had.
Scott gave it everything to fight to where he's ended up, and did a great job. And I really questioned if he could run Lena down at all, and he kept me in. It was a very solid chance there for a second, and then unfortunately, Lena was just able to just keep putting laps on and keep the distance.
So Tom O'Gorman, probably my pick to win this race, starting in 4th. It's a good choice, but we'll see if anybody else. Maybe Houghton can sneak up in there. Paul Darling, could he? Maybe Ronnie Vidoc. But what about Shukla? What about Lavoie? What about Rosenberg starting 3rd?
This is gonna. I'm gonna pick Matan.
All right. Well, we're road 2 buddies on this one. Here we go. Last race of the weekend for GridLife Touring Cup. Green flag is in the air. One final race for all the marbles here at GridLife Circuit Legends. Zach Lavoie, a strong start on the outside. Into turn 1. Big pack of cars. Houghton's outside 3 wide, but denied. Vidoc slides up ahead of him. Tom O'Gorman to the outside. Oh, Houghton's going to be off course in the background. Dropped a tire. He's in the dirt.
Oh.
He's going to lose tons of spots. McGrew doesn't.
Yep. Houghton's back on course. Looks like it was a fairly clean rejoin, which is good. Matt Corrance carving up there in front of him.
Is that Vidoc that's settling for 3rd now? So Shukla falling out of the top 5 now, and Lavoie leads O'Gorman up the hill. They did battle in the B race, but now it's for the win. Here they come. O'Gorman to the inside.
O'Gorman making the pass here into West Bend. Great job.
He's
Pass
got
done.
it. Lavoie now has Ronnie Vidoc behind him. Ronnie sees Tomo ahead of him. Ronnie's car might be as fast as Tomo's here this weekend, but they've got to get by Lavoie first. Lap 1 complete. Tomo leads by 5 car lengths. Vidoc's close.
He is. Matan got shuffled back to 5th, so unfortunate for him with how the start went.
Vidoc to the inside for 2nd on Zach Lavoie. Critical pass here if Ronnie wants a shot to win his first GLTC race. Zach Lavoie hangs on to the inside in the 42.
Boy, doing a great job all over that curve. Ronnie pushing around the outside and the inside.
And Ronnie's got it. To 2nd place goes the DC Sports Integra.
Great driving by Ronnie and Zach there.
Flashbacks to Mid-Ohio where Ronnie got shuffled to 2nd. Wasn't able to run down Cathers. It was too many seconds to run down, but he's got Tomo out front, and that's the next target on the back.
And it looks like across the line the last lap, McGrew also got shuffled back. So it's McGrew in 9th, Houghton in 10th. And Heckert is all over the back of Houghton, the last shot I saw. And now Heckert's in front of him.
Oh, that's big news. Houghton in a very tight battle here with McGrew. I think he can afford to lose a couple spots because of those race wins are worth 4 more points. Vidoc runs his fastest lap of the race, 1.2 behind O'Gorman. Is that
Salil Salil is trying to keep Matan behind, defending that inside. Paul Darling hanging out behind, waiting for something to happen.
And Lavoie trying to play defense here. He's got the field stacked up behind him. The cork in the bottle. The pressure is building. When's it going to pop? Shukla started on the front row, wasn't able to cling to it, but he's got momentum now.
Everybody filing down to the back. Tom putting out a nice lead over Ronnie Vidak.
Zach Lavoie, he's doing a great job clinging to third. How long before Matan or Paul Darling puts pressure on Salil to make a pass? Vidoc sees Tomo. Can he get that S2000 larger in the windshield? That's the ultimate goal here, and there's a long way to go.
There is, and he's got to keep pushing.
Lost the 10th. But he did go faster.
Matan making a move up the inside.
Oh, wow, that's tight. Lavoie.
Shukla actually making a move on the outside.
He tried. I don't know that he's going to be able to complete that unless he keeps overlap here into 3.
Nope.
Lavoie shuts the door.
Yeah, and Matan couldn't capitalize on that because he popped the curb on the inside.
Zach did great defense there at left bend, or the left-hander, I should say.
Zach Lavoie is driving a phenomenal race right now.
He's doing an exceptional job. He does have a little bit of a train stacked up behind him, but they have to figure it out. They have to pass it clean and fair.
Yep. Lavoie's making that S2000 a lot wider than it is.
Ooh, a little off the apex. Salil sideways at West Bend.
Yep. Coming down the hill. Salil's got a good head of steam.
Battle to turn 1, and Lavoie goes to the right. Defense. Salil's going to have to go the long way around again like he tried to last time, but look at Matan Rosenberg. He thought about taking him 3 wide. He thought better of it, though.
And there's Shukla trying to make the move work around the outside, but Lavoie makes it back and covers him right back off.
Wow, well done, Zach. Drop a tire. Salil off in the grass to the left.
Oh, and that's going to put him right into Matan's hand. Did Matan have to check up? Looks like he did.
Behind him, Darling's got Luke McGrew behind him. Luke, if he gains a few more spots, the weekend is up for grabs by that number 7.
Absolutely. And I think he just made the pass on Darling there.
Houghton is only 4/10 behind Andy Smedegaard in the Team ASM 150.
And there's Heckert ready to pounce in the initial D-Spec C5.
Yeah, James Houghton not going forward in the way that I thought he would. Vidoc lost a little bit more ground to O'Gorman. It's 1.9 between the front 2. But a long way to go. A little side by side. Oh, lock up there. I thought I saw some tire smoke. Was that Wimble maybe?
I've seen a couple of them.
Zach Lavoie drops to 5th. Oh, into turn 1.
Oh, Matan.
That was dicey. Matan Rosenberg around the outside of Salil Shukla and Zach Lavoie.
Oh, man, that's a move.
And Matan, with that, shuffles his way into 3rd place.
What a phenomenal drive by Matan.
Oh, Lavoie wants up the inside of Shukla. Couldn't have a look. And here comes, is that McGrew?
That's McGrew.
Here he comes. And he's got to make up spots again. Lost 2 races to Houghton, but won 1 of them. So the difference is, I think, 4 points. And McGrew is 5 spots ahead of James Houghton.
Yep. And Heckert now pressuring Darling, trying to make it work through West Bend.
There comes Corrins now with the slowdown from Heckert having to lift.
And that's Alex Moss behind Corrins. There's a whole slew of them.
And that stack up might be beneficial to Houghton to give some opportunity for him to pass some cars. He might need to win the weekend championship. McGrew to the inside of Lavoie.
McGrew making a great pass there in the Big Bend.
And he is through.
Mopping that curb. I love it.
Tomo still leads by 2.2 over Ronnie Vidoc. Rosenberg 3rd. Shukla, Lavoie 4th and 5th. Then it's McGrew, Darling, Heckert, Corrins, and Smedegaard. The rest of your top 10. Houghton resides in 11th, and he is not going anywhere. He's stuck in 11th. I wonder if there could be some damage. Maybe he's monitoring temperature with grass in the grill from his off-track excursion. But
that's a good point.
Luke is 5 spots ahead. It could come down to qualifying position to determine who wins the weekend.
Yeah, this is going to be tight. And honestly, there is a solid chance here that McGrew's going to go further. we still have about 7-8 minutes to go in this race, so I wouldn't put it past Luke.
Vidoc keeping Tomo honest at 2.6 seconds back still.
Yeah. I think that smoke we're seeing is tire rub from the front fiberglass fenders on the C5s.
Got it, but Lavoie drops to 7th behind McGrew and Paul Darling now. And here's Scott Heckert hounding Lavoie now.
Oh, man. Isn't he going to make it? Oh, he's got most of the... Oh, nope, Lavoie's got him on the inside. Got to leave him space.
That is tight. Oh, he got him squeezed, and he's off course. They're both off track.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, they just kind of got in each other's heads there for a second, Pete, and just kind of both drove off the track.
Oh, that's so fortunate for both of them. I hope there wasn't any actual contact.
I don't think they made contact. They just, the 72 slid out wide to apex the corner, and Zach still had a little overlap, so he kind of dropped a tire, but then Scott overdrove turn 4, and then they both went off track. So no contact there, just a little bit of a tight moment.
And that's going to shuffle Joel Morrison up a couple spots.
Yeah, he's top 11 in the points, too, so this could be a good day for him. But into turn 1. Little battle here. Shukla on McGrew, or McGrew on Shukla, vice versa.
Yep, McGrew making the pass, now up into 4th.
James Houghton dropped to 14th place, Pete.
I think your point about the grass, they might have a radiator full of something.
And that is a huge problem. Again, I think he had a bit of a buffer when he was near McGrew, but now with McGrew up in 5th. Just remember, a second on the weekend will get Houghton where he wants to be, but it forces him to have to win at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
It does. And I know it's a major tow for him from Canada.
It's a long way for everybody, but it's still, I mean, he's committed to going, which I don't know that Jeremy Swenson is, so that helps. Or Luke McGrew is. I mean, that helps, but not a given. Matt Corrence, Andy Smedegard. This is a battle for 7th. And Tom's lost some ground to Ronnie Vidoc, by the way. Ronnie's reeled him in a couple tenths of a second as McGrew solidifies his pass for 4th.
Paul Darling holding out in 6th. Is that Corrence? Oh, no. Corrence still just trying to defend on Alex Moss.
Andy Smedegard in this car this race.
Yes.
Alex was in it the first 3 races, but Andy now putting pressure on Matt Corrence, who was fighting in the B races earlier this weekend, but clawed his way through the split sprints and is now in the top 10 in race 4 here in GridLife Touring Cup. And doing a great job while doing it. Eric Jensen also top 10 after the weekend he's had fighting around. So little Shukla and Paul Darling nose to tail here for 5th into West Bend.
We've got a stack of them.
Houghton gained 1 spot back on Lavoie up to 13th place. Vidoc just ran his personal best. Still 2.4 back from Tomo, though. No white flag. It'll be at least 2 laps.
Corrence trying to defend from Smedgard.
And here is Shukla on Paul Darling on defense.
Yep, Paul's trying to make it work around the outside. Can he get... Nope.
Oh, Shukla, big sideways moment. Leaving turn 3. Darling all over the back of him in the silver BMW.
Darling's done a great job this weekend of taking advantage of opportunities that are handed to him by people in front of him.
Nose to tail. Oh, there's Smedegard around Corrence. Completes the pass on the Paul Newman straight, but Corrence pulls alongside him, now tucks in behind. Shukla and Darling still car length between them for 5th place.
Paul can smell it. Paul can smell 5th.
Still no white, at least 2 to go. Vidoc another gain there. It's just not enough and not consistently.
No, it's too bad for him. I'd love to see that car take a win. Not take anything away from Tom, for sure.
He could definitely be in trophy territory, though, for the weekend because he's had some consistent finishes up towards the front. So let's consider that.
That's true.
Maybe not a win here, but it could be a trophy on the weekend if he can get at least 3rd place in the points. And
absolutely, because he's finished every race and not had any dyno issues.
It's a little big sideways moment. Here's Houghton on deep.
Oh!
What just happened?
Houghton just went off.
That was wild.
Way wide.
Dropped a tire and just looped around.
I guess just tried to hook it in a little too much.
And it will cost him some time and some positions and potentially the weekend. I was going to mention Matt Walbaum's progress hasn't been much of anything. 13th place in the number 90.
No, he's been trying to fight through. he's made up 6 spots, so great job.
White flag, 1 lap to go. Tom O'Gorman. He was denied a victory earlier in the weekend because of a dyno issue after the race. Was disqualified for that. As we watch Darling and Salil Shukla into turn 1. Salil's been really wild at turn 3 in particular, sliding all over. And just like that, Paul Darling trying to chase him around, find where the grip is.
Paul trying to find that opportunity, trying to make it happen.
Running out of laps. Tom O'Gorman, though, in the number 94 for the ASM crew, returns to GridLife Touring Cup competition after winning the championship and 20 races last year. Here's Paul Darling on Shukla to the inside at West Bend, though, for 5th place. Darling down the inside. Does he keep it? Down the hill. The battle is on behind him. O'Gorman wins the Sunoco checkered flag in race 4 in GridLife Touring Cup. Vidok 2nd, Rosenberg 3rd, but for 5th, I think Paul Darling got him, and he is through. Wow, last lap pass for P5. Paul Darling up to 5th.
Fantastic job. Fantastic job by Paul Darling.
Hopefully Tomo gets to keep this one, Pete.
I agree. So, but we also have to give a big shout out to Salil Shukla for just a fantastic drive to make Darling work for it. So, I super happy for Paul. I'm pretty sure he'll be very pleased with himself after that pass. Paul is the ultimate gentleman. And he might even say maybe possibly partly to his own detriment. So I think he'll be very pleased with that aggressive move he made there.
Tom O'Gorman wins race 4 here at Circuit Legends for the GridLife Circuit Legends Festival. Ronnie Vidok, another 2nd place in race 4. He is just chipping away at these leaders. A win is coming. I can sense it. Matan Rosenberg is 3rd. Here's a look at the rest of the order, though. Matt Walbaum didn't make a lot of forward progress there, but James Houghton, the big story here, all he had to do was not fumble this last race, Pete. I don't know what the points are now, but it's going to be tough for him to hold on to the weekend victory with a 16th in race 4.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like Scott Heckert ended up pulling off really early, so I'm wondering if something did happen to his car.
And